All right, welcome everybody to another episode of Providence Lucha Talk. This is Luisito,
Your boy Jay Aguila.
and this weekend was interesting. I feel this week we had, well, this month, I feel like we had which is good, a bunch of things going on about wrestling. So we had from all the way from Payback all the way until this Saturday, which was All Out, which is good content for us, which was good, but it was this all. I would just say it was interesting All Out. I don't know if it lived up to expectations.
And as always, you can follow the Providence Lucha Talk on our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Providence Lucha Talk. Just Google it or Bing it. You'll be able to find us as well. Listen to our audio content on Spotify and the Apple Podcast. Make sure you give us the 5-star, give us your comment, let us know what you think of the show, and share your feedback. We'd definitely like to interact with you guys for real. So as always, not to jinx AEW and what they do and how they do it, I did not watch the pay-per-view live. I did see some highlights and the results and here and there. But Luisito, before we started recording, you were saying it was not worth the money. What's your insight on that?
I feel like I paid the money and I watched it, and I feel like they did their job. They got their money and they got me hooked. I feel from what we had last year, from I think it was All Out from last year to this All Out, there was a big difference. I prefer everything. I feel like every pay-per-view since I think Revolution from last like spring, everything there until now, it hasn't lived up for me up to expectation for AEW. I know they're new and stuff, but I feel like last year's All Out was better than this year because I feel like maybe because it was new or something. But there's a couple of spots that I saw that I'm like, and also, for example, that one thing, the Matt Hardy situation, they should have called it off there. That spot was way too dangerous, and they kept that going, which I give props to Matt Hardy to continue, but it wasn't his career could have been over that instant, and it was a scary spot. Same thing with Matt Sydal, that botch. It's not now all over Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. It's crazy. And also, is that how you want your debut to appear? Which is still, I would say any reaction is a good reaction. People are talking about it and they looking him up and stuff, but it's just like, this is your debut match at AEW, and this accident happened, and it was tough. But
if you're talking about when he was trying to do the moonsault maneuver, I mean that or more of a.
It was basically it would have been like
what's the move again?
It's similar to like a moonsault. It's like but it's just
the terminology is not coming to my head right now. But I saw it. I mean, it seems like it was just bad footwork on the way how I pay attention to it. It was like he tried to rush the finish. The way how it'd been played back in slow motion. So, things like that does happen. I mean, hopefully this is a lesson for him as well as any other stars that try to do big things. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure that you're not rushing these high-risk maneuver type of move.
But I feel also I would have to give props to Will Hobbs because he was supposed to take the spot from the flip from him. And he kind of checked up on him when he was down and stuff, and I feel like hopefully management and people that Young Bucks, basically the elite, they'll see that and be like, oh, he cares and sees that he was there for that athlete, so it's like he kind of was invested in there, so he might get a pay not pay, but he might get some reward from that later on, and I feel like he did good. I feel like out of the new people, Will Hobbs did good, especially for the battle royale that they had.
I mean, again, it's what I was trying to get to was anybody who's debuting definitely needs to just take precautions, Same with Ricky Starr. Ricky Starr had almost a bad incident when he had his match with Cody Rhodes. One of the Lucha Bros, Ray Phoenix, That was a crazy incident that happened to him, that he was out for like nearly 3 weeks before him and his partner came back to AEW as the Lucha Bros. So it's just like I think they know the risk that they're taking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's something sad. But let's just run it down for everybody who's wondering what's going on, because we're just filling gap. But let's just give some detail for you guys. All right. So we had Joey Janela versus Serpentico, which is not Sami Zayn, the actual
Yeah.
guy himself. Joey Janela get the win via pinfall. We had the Dark Order versus with John Silver and Ray Reynolds versus Private Party. Private Party gets the W via pinfall.
Before you continue, sorry. So these two matches were the buy-in, basically the free stuff that we can see.
I believe this last match that I'm going to mention too was part of the buy-in.
Do you think after this, do you think these three matches will make you watch the show, or do you think they should have put something instead for the buy-in?
The last match for the buy-in was the Big Swole versus Dr. Britt Baker on the Tooth and Nail match. Big Swole defeat Britt Baker via stompage. To answer your question right there, it would be a nice entertainment. I do enjoy Private Party. Dark Order definitely is in a big wave, so that would definitely catch my attention. As for the
Serpentico and
Joey Janela, he's I'm not a really big fan of him. Big Swole and Britt Baker, this was more of an easy option to put before the pay-per-view match, because we don't know the condition or Britt Baker throughout this event, and it seems she did pretty okay. Not that amazing, but pretty okay. So just for the Private Party match in Dark Order, it would have got my 15 minutes from the bio of the show.
Okay.
All right. So moving through, Jurassic Express versus the Young Bucks. Young Bucks win via pinfall. The Casino Royale. We had a member of SCU, Santana Ortiz, Will Hobbs, as Luisito mentioned. We had Sean Spear. We had Lance Archer, Brian Cage. We had Kingston. We had Lance Archer, the Butcher and the Blade. We had his debut. I just saw his name and it just slipped. Matt Sydal.
Yep.
We also had that's pretty much the names.
Yeah, I think there was 21 in total.
There was 21 people.
Yeah.
Winner of it is Lance Archer won the Battle Royale, which is pretty good. I want to talk about it, but let me just. The Broken Rule match between Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara, which is something that Luisito mentioned, was a little bit dangerous, should have been stopped. Matt Hardy defeated Sammy Guevara via 10 count. A D- because of the worry of the injury. Cheetah versus Thunder Rosa. Cheetah wins via pinfall to retain the title. All right, kudos for her. The Dark Order versus Matt Cardano, aka Zack Ryder, previously known as Zack Ryder. Scorpio Sky in the Natural Nightmares. The Nitro Nightmare group defeated the Dark Order. So far, Dark Order's not looking good this pay-per-view. Tag Team Championship match, FTR versus Kenny Omega and Adam Page. FTR is your new tag team champion for AEW. Pretty awesome. The Mimosa Mayhem. Orange Cassidy versus Chris Jericho. These men put their body on the line and their drinks. And Orange Cassidy got the win over Jericho, which I think this is his second pay-per-view match that he beat him. Nice. And final match is Moxley versus MJF, the candidate for the AEW Heavyweight Championship. This match resulted as a pinfall with still heavyweight champion Jon Moxley. Now, the story that we're going to focus on is who is next. And Lance Archer seems to be the next person in line, which I kind of wanted a long time ago. I think I talked about it earlier during the earlier stage of the pandemic back in April, end of March, end of April for the heavyweight belt. This is a good move. I like this move. I'm hoping that Lance Archer gets the belt. Luisito, your thoughts?
I I see your point, and I see, like, everybody, they basically swap roles. So the person that competed for the TNT now is competing for the AEW Championship and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think they are missing an opportunity. They have. All right, let me preface this. Before these two competitors have history already. They face each other in New Japan. I think for the United States Championship in New Japan, and Moxley came victorious from that. Congrats.
Mm-hmm.
And they have history and they worked with each other. For me, I personally don't like this move because you could have used somebody else to build stories with, because you already know what Archer could do in his history. I
Mm-hmm.
feel that the Casino Royale should have been somebody else to move to that spot. Then you could, use Lance Archer, ease him to a story. But I feel like it's not handed to him, but it was just handed to him, and possibly he could win, and we could have the two people that lost last year, basically throughout the year for the opposite titles, now could have hold both titles, which would be impressive. But I think they missed an opportunity for Casino Royale. I think probably Central is probably the only person that could see dethroning Moxley. I wanted MGF, but it just didn't work out for him. But I don't know. I personally could care less if Lance Archer wins the title or not. I would have preferred somebody else opportunity, especially as a new company. You want to build your staff, your talent, and they're not doing that right now. They're just recycling people over again.
I wouldn't say recycling. I would say this. Maybe they know Moxley wants to take some time off with now that Renee
Mm-hmm.
uh, Paquette, if I pronounce it correctly, is now no longer working. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's time for him to hang the boot, put the belt aside, spend some quality time with his wife. And even though you're not a big fan of Lance Archer or seeing this type of story being told in a different organization, Lance Archer definitely can show the quality of a heavyweight champion by the definition of strength, speed, uh, not the best technical, but still him working with other people like Brian Cage, maybe a rematch with Cody Rhodes, Scorpio Sky, maybe the Luchasaurus. There's a lot. Luchasaurus again, not to win the belt, but to be more of a jobber match for to make build up Lance Archer. I think that's like a good direction to go. And we don't know. We do not know if maybe Lance Archer might be the fourth member for this stable that was formed with FTR. Imagine this: Lance Archer, Heyman Page, FTR. Sure, you're gonna have two different coaches on the sideline, but it is an organization, is a stable that I think it could be very beneficial to go against the Dark Order or the Lucha Bros or the Nightmare Collection. I mean, that's the direction I would like to
Yeah, I
see
think
personally.
I think that 3 out of the 4 already work with the same manager and or coach. I feel the missing piece is Hangman Page that's going to be added to the group because he already got kicked off the Elite at this pay per view. Well, basically the Wednesday before this pay per view, and I don't think he's Omega. He's done. I think we might see the cleaner once again. So I think Hangman it's on an island, and I think he's gonna join up with FTR, and this is gonna be those. That's gonna be the 4: Sean Spears, FTR, and Hangman Page.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. But with Lance Archer, I mean, if this is the direction they take, I just hope that Jake Roberts just get his promo skills sharpened, help him out with certain advocation for Lance Archer, build up good matches. I think Lance Archer against Eddie Kingston, Matt, Cody, Dustin Rose, Scorpio Sky, Luchasaurus as a jobber, not winning as a jobber. Frank from SCU. There's a lot of people that you could build up to make Lance to last maybe up to 6 months as your heavyweight champion. And the person that should take it from him, me personally, I would love to see Scorpio Sky as the heavyweight champion, uh, winning against Lance Archer. But for now, let's let the ball roll with Lance. Let's give him a chance. Let's see how it goes. I mean, the battle royale showed us that this is something sure that it was probably staged, but I mean, compared to like, WrestleMania, All Out was not that bad on paper
Mm-hmm.
compared to WrestleMania with the two-parter. It gave us a little bit of everything. Street Fight gave us a Royal Rumble. It gave us a unique match, tooth and nails.
Mm-hmm.
It gave us a broken match. Come on, man. I mean, like, those are the type of matches that you want WWE to deliver, but they don't. And I don't know. I'm hoping John Moxley does get his break from the belt real soon. Personally, that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I think like the Casino Royale, I like the concept. Basically, you have four. They try to base it on cards, so they have basically four groups of five, for each suit of cards, which is a good concept. And the Joker or the wild card would have been the last person, which is I like the concept, and I feel like having instead of one at a time or basically everybody at once, I feel that gave enough people to be in the ring. You get to see it, absorb it, and kind of bring more people into the fold, which was good. I would have preferred they scrambled the teams a little bit more because the third and fourth group, they had a lot of groups together of the same. So you have like Santana and Ortiz together, which is fine. But then like I would have preferred one than the other one, so at least they could pace themselves. But I like the concept. I overall it was great. There was a couple of spots, and especially the order that people left. It was interesting because I looking back, I wrote down like the order of it.
What's
I'm
the order?
surprised. So Blade was the first one out. Christopher Daniels second. Billy from the Gun Club was third. Ray Phoenix was fourth. I thought he was gonna wait, be a little bit longer there. Chucky T, then Jake Hager, Sonny Kiss, Santana, Trent, Ortiz. Then you have Pentagon. Then you had Kazarian, Starks, Darby Allen, which he was stuffed in a bag, which is crazy. He needs to stop doing that stuff. But then you have Sean Spears, Brian Cage. Hobbs lasted. He was the 17th person, which is not bad for like a newbie in AEW. Then you had the Butcher, Matt Sydal, then Eddie Kingston at the end. So overall, that I like the order that they had. So you had a blend of everybody. But the one that I was kind of surprised was I personally, I think my prediction was Darby Allin to win this. I wanted him to get a chance to be number one contender for the AEW because the story with him and Moxley, but that also could have him if he would have won it. You could have also added Starks to the mix and also Brian Cage back into it. You know what I'm saying? So there's more rotation of people rather than just have Lance Archer, the Beast, basically kind of sort of like unbeatable, win it, but maybe Brian Cage, later on if he gets a title, Brian Cage, you could throw him in there stuff. So there's still people that are connected with him, but I like the concept, and overall was good. But back to the Darby Allin stuff, he needs to stop doing the crazy stuff that he does. I know that's his like character and stuff, but his career won't last too long in AEW or just professional wrestling at all.
I mean, I wouldn't say it won't last long. He won't be available for long storytelling
But I would say
because
maybe five. He won't last like I know that won't last forever. But I think I give him if he keeps doing this stuff, he probably will last 5 years in the career. Because something crazy could happen like injuries and stuff. I know he's used to this stuff, but how long can you be doing this? And
I mean, like, I think in the Indies, there's a legend himself that does way crazier stunt. His name doesn't come up, but like they did a documentary of his last match, and he went fully out with the light bulbs, with
mm-hmm.
the table, with the cages, all the bars. Oh my god! I'm like, this guy is ridiculous. So if Darby wants to play the role of the hardcore, then hey, by all mean it. With Darby, I'm happy he did not win the Casino Royale. And the reason why I'm happy is because I am hoping that he become the next FTW heavyweight champion of AEW. Now, Tony Khan definitely said that the TNT championship will have more focus and attention compared to the other belts,
Mm-hmm.
which I kind of understand because you're trying to make the network look good. You're trying to, have them um, extend longer contract with AEW since they're doing pretty good job with the flexibility throughout the NBA playoff. That we had the shows on Thursday, we had the show on Saturday, now it's back on Wednesday. So it's really nice to see the flexibility that TNT is doing. So with the TNT Championship belt, we're hoping that at least it could get maybe another 5 years. Excuse me, from that. So, but back to Darby, FTW champion will definitely be looking
Mm-hmm.
good on him with Ricky Stark and Brian Cage working with him. That's the storytelling of itself. So you don't have to push it or anything, excuse me, but you definitely could just let it ride. Trust in Taz, trust in the process. In other words, and let them take care of that area if they want to incorporate other people into it, right? And like a member from SU or any of like the people in Dark,
Mm-hmm.
cool. But other than that, let Taz worry about that division himself. With the women division, again, it's still the weakest out of all the organization that we have in wrestling. I wish Sheeta would be facing someone more legit.
But
Of
she's coming. Chris Stanlander, there was a picture of her on, I think on Instagram, that
mhm.
she's recovering back up. So I think she's doing some rehab and stuff. So we might eventually, hopefully by the end of the year, maybe next year, we might see her come back into it. We got Britt Baker back into it. So if you build a story, she could be the next person up, or even Big Swole. But overall, that division, it's talent wise and stuff, it's kind of weak at the moment. I know they're trying to build with I think it's Anna Jay from the Dark Order. She's
Mhm.
getting some momentum, which is good, but she gotta kind of like finish her feud with Brandy. So they're still
Mhm.
moving pieces and stuff, but when they get the full roster of people, it's gonna be good. But I would say the match with Sheeta and Thunder Rosa, wrestling and stuff, I feel like it's probably was one of the best matches of the night.
I think you comment that though somewhere. Yep.
And it was just like very technical, and you could see how both of them their skill and everything. So it was just like if we see Thunder Rosa eventually do part time for both NWA and AEW, should be a great addition for AEW. And I feel like her being in this match, lasting this long against Sheeta, it shows that NWA has a legit champion. I know the person that she defeated for the title kind of like wrote some stuff on Twitter, just kind of like getting into her head. But overall, I liked how they build the story and kind of the feud between the two companies. Maybe we'll see a champion versus champion for the guys. Hopefully, maybe in the future. Who knows? Because I think Nick Aldis is currently the champion for NWA. So who knows? Maybe if Cody gets a title later down the road, we could see another champion versus champion.
Well, we might see another champion versus champion. I like uh, going back to the women division. It's just like you mentioned Britt Baker and Big Swole. I respect each and every one of them, but I'm not too excited for them to be the next women champion for AEW. I feel like I need a new face, and if it's Anna Jay, then I'll patiently wait. Chris
You still got
Strander,
what's her name? You still
Chris,
got Evilise and Diamante. You got Diamante had her chance and lost, but you got Evilise hasn't faced Sheeta yet.
it still doesn't mean that they're gonna like rock with her being the new champ.
True.
Like Anna Jay, I understand. Chris, you if she's coming back, cool. But like, what is that going to do for the division? Is she's going to elevate it, or she's going to still be plateau? Because that's where that division is at. It's very plateau, in my personal opinion. So it's just like I need something new, something like with flavor. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? To at least catch my attention again. Like we talked about I think it was Impact Wrestling Women Division. That is pretty amazing. You know what I'm saying? That is stacked. That is something that I could be behind of and be like, you know what? I may not understand the whole storyline that's going on in Impact Wrestling, But when it comes to the knockout, the women division, that's what they call them.
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely follow through and understand what's going on easily, you know? So that's like my one critique. Let's talk about Kenny Omega and Adam Page and FTR.
About time.
Yes, that's pretty much it. Next
About damn
topic.
time. Like it was. I like the story that they built, but overall was we knew it was coming sooner or later. If they didn't win, FTR didn't win, it would be a waste of them signing to AW.
Yeah, and like I saw like people posted like they won the championship from NXT, Raw,
But they
SmackDown,
haven't
and
won New
that.
Japan
Yeah, or Impact Wrestling
or
or
Ring of
Ring of
Honor.
Honor.
But
So
I will say that the main TV ones, United States TV, the only thing they probably have to do is just win Impact. I don't think they're gonna have time to go to Impact, but because I will say looking Gallows and Anderson, they don't have that. I don't think that they're ever gonna win the NXT one, but they won the New Japan. They could potentially win the Impact Wrestling. Potentially, they're in the division. They
mhm.
already won SmackDown, Raw, and they won New Japan. So the only thing that they're missing is
They won
the.
SmackDown.
I think they won SmackDown. I think
I remember Raw, but I don't remember SmackDown.
either
Not
that
even
or
with
either that or they had the best championship, the title from Saudi Arabia, the best tag team in the world. Remember they won it. They won the best tag team in the world. So I don't think nobody else has.
Word.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
What title, man? Sure. I mean, FTR. I think after they finish with a reign with the tag team championship, I feel like they might leave AEW or be part timer and work elsewhere. I mean, like work with AAA, work with Impact, work with Ring of Honor. I think Cody could definitely connect them with the right people.
I think the best fit for them is gonna be NWA. They are so retro, like 80s wrestling type of wrestling that NWA that's what fits them.
Yeah,
That'll be
but
perfect for them.
the only difference between them and the Young Bucks is that Young Bucks already have nearly every tag team title from like all the
Mm-hmm.
organization except for WWE, which
They're
we
never gonna
know
get it.
that there's a great chance in hell that they're not going to go
Yeah.
for it. FTR does have the opportunity to win each belt, literally each belt, if they play their card right. You know what I'm saying? You build a good story, you know, end it well with a nice build up, maybe be a part timer, or maybe just like, you know, work with other organizations. Because I think with AAA and NWA, they easily could be number one contendership for the belt and win it. I could definitely see with Ring of Honor,
Mm-hmm.
with 3 months in, they could probably go win the belt and win it. Uh, with New Japan, it's going to take a while because with Japan, you got to understand that people who are champion last about 7 years. 7 years as champion, if you think about it. It's not like a yearly thing.
I feel
It's
the only
mostly
one that could do that it's Brock Lesnar. He won there, won it, and like left kind of, and Moxley, but Moxley went on
Mox,
on a tour and kind of like spent some time over
Mox.
there.
Well, Moxley is still champion
Mm-hmm.
for them. He's
Yeah.
still their U.S. heavyweight champion. So currently, like in the process, you know, Moxley is in that reign of reaching maybe his second, close to third. I'm not sure year
Mm-hmm.
being the U.S. heavyweight, but absent from it. So you could tell that, you know, if FTR go to New Japan, it's going to be like a long process. You know what I'm saying? Sure, Chris Jericho, when Chris
Mm-hmm.
Jericho went, he did won their IC Intercontinental Championship belt, but I think he might he was what's the word I'm looking for? The same thing what happened with Cross. It was
Was it injury or?
no, I don't know if it was injury. He was resigned.
Okay.
That's not the word. There's a word for it when relinquished.
Okay.
He relinquished the belt. That's the word I was looking for. So, you know, that could happen with FTR, but again, they got built like a hella story right now for people to be able to be behind them. And I think if they win, like I said, the big one, NWA, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, right there, solid lead for New Japan. Once they win New Japan and AAA, they done it all in my book. Like
True.
unless if they want to go to Australia or the UK to win
No,
some
I feel like
belt.
how things are
Like,
going on. I think they might keep it locally, but I feel like I would say reign for AEW for a little bit. Then when NWO is, because they already have some type of partnership with the women's division, so they could maybe do tag team or whatever. I think the last connection or feud that they NWA and AEW might be the heavyweight title, but overall they have people over from NWA onto AEW, and we have some mutual working with each other. So it could happen them going to NWA. I feel like that'd be a perfect fit for them. But overall, I like the match and stuff. I really enjoyed that they use the Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard move, the pile driver. They had to do it twice in order to win. So I feel like it's a good finisher, but I feel like I would have preferred them to win with their own like finisher. But I like that they kind of brought it back to old school and kind of in memory of like Arn Anderson and Tully's finisher to win the match, kind of bringing old school all together.
yeah, and again, the result is that is a long time waiting. Kenny Omega becoming the cleaner, cool. Working more with the elite, sure. Is Cody going to be part of the elite? I don't think so. I think he's going to continue with the Nightmare Collection. Now, with that being said, Adam Page, how long would it take until he joins with FTR? Maybe within a week or two, I predict. It's not going to take much. It's all about the right time and the right opportunity. It's going to have to be like FTR defending the belt against like the Young Bucks or something. And then, Adam Page just like jumps in, boom, take the belt. And I guess that's pretty much it.
I will say a good one was I appreciate Chris Jericho giving us the Mimosa Mayhem match. I feel like he elevated Orange Cassidy, because if you think about it, everybody they still basically the jury's still out for him, but people that knew of him before liked them and stuff, but people that are new to him, those like, oh, he doesn't know how to wrestle, he can talk, whatever. So I like that Jericho took him kind of as a project or kind of like under his wing and made him a main eventer. So he had 3 matches, and I feel like now he has shown us that he could handle, main event. Because I think that match was the match before the main event. So, you have to almost close out the show besides the heavyweight title. And I feel like they did a good match overall, and I appreciated the match. And I like that Jericho, his actions throughout the match, and I like that Orange Cassidy won, giving him the edge, and now he could finish this feud and work on something else, maybe a singles match or something else. But now I feel like he created a main eventer in AEW.
I mean, I didn't put much insight to it because, again, I didn't watch All Out personally, but that sounds really good feedback coming from you. Seeing that Chris Jericho is still giving, that's what he is. He's a giver, and he definitely worked with the ones that people say it's impossible. He said, like, yeah, it is doable. Watch how it's done. So you got to give a lot of props to Jericho working with Orange Cassidy. I think AEW is definitely it's going to have a different welcome home event this Wednesday. Let's see what they're going to do with Orange Cassidy, because if anything, the next step for him should be
I could see him TNT.
Yeah,
I could see him
contendership for a belt. That's exactly where I was leading to.
But the thing is, like, I think I wrote in my notes like, what's next for both of them, because this feud lasted, if you think, almost 6 months with each other, which is fine, back and forth and stuff. But now that he got two wins over one, and kind of finished Jericho off at the moment. What's next? Like, where does he go? Him against Jack Hager? Does he go against people from the Dark Order? You know what I'm saying? Because at the moment, the Proud and Powerful and Best Friends, they still haven't had their final. I think they're 1-1 against each other, so they haven't had their finishing match with each other. So maybe Orange Cassidy could help Dave, but it's just like how would you navigate Orange Cassidy onto? I will say him interacting with the Dark Order little by little to get to Brody Lee, but that's the only way that what I'm saying. Like, that's the only way you could move into maybe a title. I wouldn't mind seeing him with a title, but I think it's a little too early for him. But he's worthy of one.
Well, right now, Brody Lee has a match with Dustin Rose.
Mm-hmm.
So it could show that, Brody Lee is being very dominant. Uh, what you can do is like what they have done before with Orange Cassidy. Have him in the crowd, have him as an Easter egg. You know what I'm saying? Keep him around. See if you can get the attention of Brody Lee, and let that naturally build up. You know what I'm saying? And then once the beef between the best friend and Proud of Powerful is ended, then he will have more backup in case of Dark Order was invaded, does the invasion or try to like stop him, because um, Dark Order have tried to, if you remember, or like in the early season of
Mm-hmm.
AEW, they were trying to get the best friend, you know what I'm saying, or jump in while they had their beef with or matches with STU. So it was like a mix of its Dark Order was focusing on the best friend, or they were focused on SCU. So you could definitely reignite that fire, you know what I'm saying? That rivalry once again, and just work it naturally. So that way, Orange Cassidy can be the third TNT champion in AEW history. With that being said, let's move along to their competitor, one of the longest companies in the world, WWE. WWE SmackDown. Yeah, the return of Roman Reigns. He's going to have a match, Clash of Champion, with uh, Jey Uso.
Why? Like you can't find nobody else in SmackDown. Like
Dude,
it's
it's
just crazy.
jobbers, man. It's
Which I
jobbers.
I feel like there's a story behind this. I feel like some
You think
things.
so?
I feel like I hope there's a story behind it. I doubt it,
Oh, you're hoping.
but
Okay.
I'm hoping there's a story, a reason why. Because we never seen. I think there was I saw a video that they interviewed both Usos, and they'd be like, "Have you ever considered doing a singles career?" They're so used to working with each other that you barely see them separated. And they asked them, "Will you face each other ever, and who you think could win?" And I think they point at each other just to kind of keep it at a peace.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't mind seeing what they could do offer as individuals. But I personally would have preferred a group or a faction for, like, kind of like them three together being handled by Paul Heyman or something. But I don't know. It should be an interesting match, but I don't think I like. Why do you make this match? Like, it just makes no sense.
I mean, okay, so well, big reason why we haven't mentioned our favorite person for the contendership, because it seems that the story between him, Big E, and Sheamus
Mm-hmm.
is going to ride a little bit longer than what we anticipated. Big E already got the big win in the last pay per view match, clean win. So why Sheamus is still provoking the bear,
Yeah.
I do not know, but maybe this is my. I'm not sure if with this injury we might see a different version of Big E coming in for the belt. You know what I'm saying? Not
Mm-hmm.
a New Day version, but a different single competitor version of Big E Lansing. We might see the return of him. I don't know,
Do you think he's gonna get
but
his last name back? Because when they drop your last name, you lose it completely.
man,
Well, first my
it,
last name, because I know Murphy, Buddy Murphy, or like Alexander Rusev, and you know what I'm saying. Like if you drop a name, you
I,
lose it forever.
I mean, like at first it was
Mojo
Mustafa,
Rawley,
no,
well, same
Mustafa
thing.
Ali,
Yeah,
and
not
then he became
Ali.
Mustafa Ali. So I mean, like then he got it back during the main event. So it's like,
Same thing with Cedric. Now he's like either it's a Cedric, Alexander. That's another one, but
yeah. So it all depends how if the moon is in the right position, and someone had woke up on the right side of the bed, they'll get their name. You know what I'm saying, or not.
true.
But yeah, if we get a different version of Big E from this rivalry, then I think this is the Big E that's going to go for the belt. Maybe I guess we're gonna have to say during the Royal Rumble now, because again, we don't know how long this rivalry between him and Sheamus is going to last. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that we got to keep our eyes open for. Another thing from SmackDown that we got was that John Morrison took the Money in the Bank contract after losing to Otis and Tucker in their match. What does this indicate? Can he, cash in the belt at any time, any moment, or is he playing mind game? Who knows? Who give a damn? Because like that's the most like
But
the last time.
I think he took it, but I think there was a sandwich in it. Like I don't think the contract was in it, so they're trying to like I don't know.
Dear God,
Yeah.
like the comedy does not stop when it comes to SmackDown, guys. It never stops. So it definitely shows us that we're not gonna see when he's gonna cash in the
Yeah.
freaking
Do you think it
contract.
was they trying to rewind the decision of Money in the Bank, or do you think still a good choice having Otis as Money in the Bank?
I think what's going on is they may had underlook this direction,
Okay.
because I believe that before Braun got into the trilogy matches with Bray Wyatt, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? You were seeing some moment that Otis could have cashed in the belt on Braun, so then you could have capped it between him and Braun, making more, equal to him,
Yeah.
especially that they were in a tag team match together, they worked together. So, I mean, I feel they missed the opportunity during the second match of Braun versus Bray when it was Bray Wyatt from the Wyatt family. That could have been an interesting opportunity for him to cash in the belt, cash in the contract,
Yeah.
and maybe lose it. And then fine, Otis is one of the few people that lost the belt, lost his match after submitted the contract. Big whoop, that's fine, but you would have gotten away from it. Now you still have this one piece lingering. You know what I'm saying? It's like a stent. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you forgot to throw away the trash and you could smell it, and
Mm-hmm.
you haven't. That's what's going on. And I'm not calling Otis he stink or anything. It's just like they just forgot to take care of this one area. That's what I'm trying to per se. So
Well, we
um,
also I think they're coming pretty soon. They're doing a not a draft, but a scramble of everybody. We saw a little invitation of the tag teams in Raw, so maybe we might see more people blending over to different divisions and or brands. I could see Otis if he's gonna cash it in. I wouldn't mind seeing cashing it in a Raw, even for United States Championship or something. But I feel like his time on SmackDown might be counted.
Yeah, if that occurred, cool. Which I like you brought that up. It seems that SmackDown champions, tag team champions, are challenging the Raw tag team champions
Mm.
in a match for Clash of Champion. Um, if they're able to unify the belt itself,
I hope they do that.
that will be like Luisito say is like our biggest hope right now, because then you could definitely have more of a push for the tag team by unifying from both brands
Mm-hmm.
than having it separately,
Because
because
they
it's
do
not
not.
right.
They have that for the women's division. They have the tag team. You could go to all three brands. The only thing for me when I watched this yesterday live and Raw, one or two things. Either they're doing that story, eventually Clash of Champions, they're going to have one big, unification title. Whoever wins
Please,
takes both of them.
please.
Or, which is more likely, is that they don't have enough people at Raw for the tag team division to compete. Because we've seen Angel Garza and Andrade versus Street Profit for the past 8 months since he won the title. Like, it's never ending. I know they did the Viking Raider situation, but it was just like not even Viking Raiders are going for the title, and you don't even have that many people at Raw. And the team that you had was Cedric and Ricochet. They're no longer. You had Vic and Thorne, which they're gone. So it's just like you don't have nobody in the tag team division for Raw. So that's what you probably have to pull from one show to borrow from Peter to pay Paul. So it's like give bring over SmackDown to maybe bring some like hype into it, because I know the Street Profit are doing their own thing, but it's just like there's not a division there. So I feel like unification would be great, but I think they did this because they don't have a tag team division. Because Andrade and Garza should have won it for me like a couple of months ago. even at
Sure.
SummerSlam. And at least that keeps the story moving. They could win it back. You know what I'm saying? There's no movement of titles. So it's just like Street Profits are great. They're good talkers and everything that's going on. If it helps them, but it's just like I want to see more of that division. It's just you facing the same people over and over again.
I mean, I don't disagree with what you just said. But again, a unified belt, like I said, could make the tag team division like more legit in a sense, because it seems like it's weakened when it's divided. Basically, the same thing with the women division. If the women division belts could be unified again, let's say Asuka is the undisputed women champion, I wouldn't mind that. Personally, I would not mind that. I don't think we need a women's SmackDown or Raw. One belt should be good because, like, again, all the talent that they have, are being, like, for lack of word, recycled. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing similar matches over and over again. We're about to see another Bayley versus Sasha, part 6, 7, whatever it is.
They've done it every brand that they've been in.
And I think somebody was predicting this so it could happen for the Hell in a Cell match, because Sasha will finally have her match with Bayley, making her one of the first women to have the match with all 4 women horsemen of WWE. So
True.
Cool.
But I think on SmackDown, if I'm correct, they had a little snippet or preview of a lady walking, like a little cameo of just they had bottom of the legs. Do you think that's Lacey Evans repackaged? Do you think somebody else, or could they only show basically knee down, high heels? Do you think it's Charlotte Flair repackaged? Do you think it's Lacey Evans, Carmella, anybody? Like maybe what's her name? The one that Batista was hitting on. She does the flips and stuff. What's her name?
It could be Retribution, member of Retribution, and I don't give a damn, to be honest with you.
I don't know. I wonder because like Charlotte's been out for a while. I know she's done a lot of photo shoots and stuff, and like outside of things going on outside of wrestling. Maybe that's not hopefully repackaged, but maybe a new repackaged. But I wouldn't mind seeing Carmella back. We haven't seen her in a while. Same thing with Lacey Evans. She hasn't been on TV for a while, so
it could be Billie Kay now that she lost her match against.
They did it honestly. That match with Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, it was good. It was a good match. I would say I give props to both. I know Billie Kay is normally not the weaker wrestler and like talent stuff, but she held her own. It was a good match overall, and I like that they both have. It only took a week. They have a new entrance, new music. They still, dress similar, so maybe when they get split up eventually, like fully now, they get rebranded over again. But I think I feel like the match was good for them being a tag team facing each other. It was a good match.
How many minutes we still have left?
We got a couple. We got like 10.
10. Okay, cool. So with that being said, Billie Kay going to SmackDown. Once she go to SmackDown, maybe she's the lady under disguise, what I'm saying? Because her getting a push or Naomi getting a push again will be nice for the women division. But again, one unified belt will be nice as well in my again, not to repeat the same thing over. Another thing we saw on WWE, Cedric Alexander joining the Hurt Business. I think Luisito has been preaching this for quite some time. And Luisito, how do you feel seeing that your prediction came true?
It was about time. I feel like that he wasn't being used, and I like that what he said. I think I probably wrote it down here. He said, I got to earn his way back. I like that him being associated with the Hurt Business. If you think about it, money-wise, he's going to make more money because merchandising, and he's going to be on TV and stuff, and title opportunities and be more in rotation. I like that, and also I appreciate that they kind of. I like that they finished the story of him and Ricochet. They had a feud. I think it was a 8-man tag with them two. I think it was Apollo, Ricochet, and Viking Raiders against Hurt Business. And I like the final heel turn, and we saw the full combination of Cedric Alexander being heel and moving with the Hurt Business. And I feel like it's gonna help him in the long term to be part with them. And unfortunately, I think Ivar got injured in that match when he dove, and he put up the X to finish out the match. But hopefully he recovers, and I think they might be off TV for a while. But I like that Cedric. I think he did the right thing, and I feel like they could maybe, if they could do the tag team, that they could do tag team, him and Cheto Benjamins, or even him bring over the cruiserweight if he wants to.
Um, Cruiserweight champion once again, I wouldn't mind, but the
Even 24/7.
Yeah, I was gonna say the 24/7 seemed more suitable for him, or them being part, or taking the belt from Street Profit after Clash of Champion would definitely be a nice fitting for the Hurt Business, or try to convince Street Profit in joining the Hurt Business.
There'll be too many people. I think they'll fit in, and like they're talkers too. But I feel like I would like to have one, like each of them. Groups of 4 are good because each of them could have a title. So one could have like the mid card, like the tag team, kind of like Undisputed or Evolution, other 4 group teams. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
the only thing I would say, as somebody wrote on Twitter and on Instagram, an addition they could have to add diversity is if they add Shayna Baszler into the ranks of them.
As part of the Hurt Business?
Yes. Because she could run through everybody in Raw Underground, and she could, if she ends up finally getting a singles title, she could be kind of the enforcer of the women's division, and they could basically run Raw with every division under, taken care of.
I mean, that would definitely, that would not be a bad idea. Her or Nia Jax being part of the Hurt Business, still bring diversity in women empowerment.
Well, even both of them, because they're tag team.
I mean, the Hurt Business, like I said, like, even though you said 4 numbers is good, I mean, like, you add those 2 girls to it, that's 6. You add the Street Profit, that's 8.
That's half of your Raw, like, that's half your show in one faction.
Probably, but then you are forcing to come up with better story. You know what I'm saying?
But it's because just like there's not enough people on Raw. If you think of for men's division, who's left over? The Mysterios.
Remember when back in the old days when it was when Vince McMahon was the order of
the authority.
The authority.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was D Generation X, and their 6 people group. D, you got Undertaker, then you got Vince added to the mix with Sheen. I mean, like, it's not really much about numbers; it's how you're telling the story.
Yeah, but that's
when
the issue. They don't know how to tell stories.
Well, currently they don't know how to tell a story, but it seems that they're trying to. Like, again, Sheena and Nia, they already got a belt. Boom. Right now, Bobby Lashley, U.S. belt. Boom. If they could get the 24 championship belt, cool. The cruiserweight, that's 4 right there. And then I don't know about the heavyweight. The heavyweight might be something a little bit difficult to obtain, but like the ones that they already are able to capture is already good enough. And you could definitely build a nice Survivor Series story against the Hurt Business. Like,
because Shane could run, because Shane could run Raw with the Hurt Business.
Well, the Hurt Business run.
No, true, but I'm saying, but Shane's it's gonna be like the coach, will be kind of like the head of the division. So, because you could have Triple H do NXT, you could have Vince. Well, probably not Vince, but probably you could have Stephanie do SmackDown, and Raw could be Shane. Well, they'll be flop because they normally at the opposite, and they could have their own team. So you could have the Hurt Business against whatever SmackDown has to give us, and NXT, which should be interesting.
I mean, it's a possibility. It could definitely be. It could be something that could work. Hopefully, within the next few months, if they're able to acquire all these members, because they already got someone who's a heavyweight. I mean, Bobby Lashley going for the again against Drew, I wouldn't mind that, and him winning the WWE heavyweight. MVP being the US, that would be dope. Cruiserweight or tag team with the Street Profit already part of the group. Shelton Benjamin with the 24, Cedric with the 24. I mean, like, Raw would definitely look very diverse at that moment. You know what I'm saying? And then You try to figure out how do we take the women's championship away from Asuka. You add who? Street Profit only, you know, the
Bianca Belair.
EST, Bianca Belair.
But then she wouldn't be able to be with Shayna Baszler. That's the only issue. Like, not conflict of interest, but so if you add Bianca, you have to take out Shayna.
I mean,
You know, like it'd be not overload, but you know, so it'd be conflict of interest.
I mean, like it may or may not, but you still be able to tell. You know, you could make that stable
True.
look good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because again, Triple H and Undertaker definitely was a conflict of interest, but they still made it work.
Yeah.
Stone Cold was still part of it in some weird way, but you know they still made it work. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends how they deliver it. You know what I'm saying? But we gotta wait and see. Really excited to see how far they could go. Aleister Black versus Kevin Owens in the Underground.
Just time filler. Like it was just. I feel the only thing that came out of that it's the new guy, Dabba-Kato. He was basically looked big and strong against the two, and now I think the Raw talk after the show, Kevin Owens kind of called him out. He was like, I want you next. So it built, you know, it created a new star or new person into Raw, but it was just like neither Kevin Owens or Aleister Black needed this, but it was more for Dabba-Kato.
I mean, if this is his entrance to Raw, cool, kudos, welcome, have fun, do what you got to do, make it count, and don't have shitty writers tell your story. That's what I could say.
Because he went from, if you think about it, he went from not a movie star, but he went from a person in a movie. He was in NXT already, but he basically went the opposite way. So you part of the movie. Then now that he's big and now they have something that fits his character similar to the movie, now he's back into the main event of Raw. So it should be interesting, and especially him going against Kevin Owens, it creates a new feud and new talent for Raw.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. We got the return of Drew McIntyre, going after Randy Orton. Cool.
It was. I think I don't like this because I like the edge for McIntyre. That it's, you know, it shows like he means business. But normally you going for a pay-per-view, normally the champion sometimes looks weak in order to win a championship. I think this might be the time for Randy Orton to win at Night of Champions.
Crossing finger. The Mysterio family beating up Seth Rollins like a damn piñata.
Buddy Murphy.
It was Buddy Murphy?
It was Buddy Murphy, yeah.
That looked like freaking Seth in the video.
Yeah, no, it was, Buddy. It was just, I guess I think I wrote here, I was like, oh, there's a piñata party. Because that's what it looked like. But it was just like, I see the message and stuff, but it's just like, Seth is not coming back for a while. And Buddy might be ran off for a little bit. So I liked Dominic, a couple of moves that he did. It was cool. I think the flip that he did over Murphy onto the table, that was good. And there's a couple of other spots that was good. But I feel like, what's next for Dominic? Because it was just like, there's nobody else now that Seth is gone and stuff. So is he gonna be your next Humberto Carrillo of Raw? Because that's what he's wrestling like, and story wise, like who else are you gonna pair him up with? Maybe him against Garza. That's about it. Because Garza, it's at the moment not out from the group, but he kind of left Andrade in the ring. So there's no other way. Like, what story are you gonna give Dominic next?
I mean, Garza have done a lot of shitty things.
True.
For his character throughout Raw. So, maybe not. I mean, like, I would definitely would push for Andrade with Prince Mysterio, in my personal opinion.
All right.
See how he could work with them. I just don't want Ray to be much in the picture anymore. I want to see Dominic be on his own. Like, for those who watch anime, like Baki the Grappler, season 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, once the father left Baki, it's like Baki had to grow up on his own, do what he has to do, and call it a day. You know what I'm saying? If he got his ass whooped, But then he came back, and then he won his matches. So I feel like that's the same type of storytelling they should tell with Prince Mysterio.
Yeah,
Like,
I honestly,
let him
if
grow.
they do a draft and stuff, I wouldn't mind seeing him in NXT just to see what, because he gets more in ring skill down in NXT and build like a not momentum, but build like brownie points with the company. Then when he basically they do a redraft and stuff, he could go to he'd be a legit contender or a legit wrestler when he moves back to SmackDown or Raw. Because I feel like there's no now I'm saying there's no space for him in Raw or SmackDown, but it's just like every division's so stacked. Unless the only thing it's 24/7. I feel like if he went for the cruiserweight, for the North American, even I doubt it, but even for the NXT title, at least competing for it, it'd be he gets more in ring time, more TV time, rather than what we eventually gonna get from him either Raw or SmackDown.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, any other highlight you want to touch in before we end the show?
No, today's Tuesday, so we have Super
Super
Tuesday #2.
Tuesday.
I feel the only match that's worth speaking of is
Adam
the
Cole versus
yep,
Finn Balor.
that's only one, and it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be the
Some
match.
fingers.
It's gonna it is gonna be the match of the night because and also we have a cage match between Rhea Ripley and Mercedes Martinez, which was
For the
which should be
baddest.
which yes it's gonna be the baddest, the battle of the baddest. Okay, but Rhea doesn't need this, but I feel like it's more for Martinez like story wise.
Do you
But
think Ripley's going to take the L for this?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Nah. The way she was looking at Io at the end of that pay-per-view, she can't be losing because she's basically the next person up. But I think Cameron Cross did send out a message that whoever wins from this tournament, basically Finn Balor and Adam Cole, your days are counted. So he's coming back eventually. So that'll be interesting to see if one of these two stay champions until Karen Cross comes back. Should be interesting to see that match.
I mean, if it's Finn,
He could handle him. He could handle Karen Cross. Adam Cole, I don't think so.
if it's Adam Cole, I mean, Undisputed Era has not moved to a different brand yet, so it's like maybe not. Who knows? But yeah, that's what's going on Super Tuesday, and we'll find out if they stay on Tuesday after this event.
They should stay on Tuesday. I think they moved because of hockey, but I think behind the scenes, I think they moved because of ratings.
Hockey air on US.
Yeah, but I think it was the playoffs and stuff. But I think they moved because of ratings and stuff. But they getting good ratings on Tuesdays, so it's just stay with it, and it's the same TV. It's the same network. So if they're giving you Tuesdays, take it because they used to be Monday, Tuesday back in the day.
Yeah, so it's SmackDown. So it's like, why? I mean, well, they had Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday when they introduced NXT, but now, Tuesday is more of a sweet spot for them, especially with the pandemic, how it's been so far for the past few months now. I mean, like, keep people entertained with wrestling, you know what I'm saying, on national TV and keep up the good work if you can. All right, cool. With that being said, Providence Lucha Talk, man, we only got 2 words for you. Follow us. You follow us on the Instagram, the Facebook, the Twitter, the YouTube, Providence Lucha Talk, as well as our audio content on the Spotify and the Apple Podcasts. We thank all of you for taking the time, reaching up to this point of our, episode, and we'll hope to talk to you real soon when we talk about Super Tuesday and AEW Dynamite on the
Thursday.
next one.
Yes.
Excellent. We record on Thursday, but it's posted the day after, so for the next episode. So
definitely.
I'm your boy Jay Aguila.
This is Luisito.
And we say good night.
Good night.
And stay blessed.
See ya.